So last day we have discussed primitive data type and non-primitive data type. Okay. So what is the difference between primitive data type and non-primitive data type? Can anyone explain?
Sir, primitive data types are the data type which hold only one value,
Okay.
and other data types can hold multiple values in a single variable.
Okay, great.
Reference data.
Okay. So now we'll continue that same topic. Okay. So in primitive data type, we have total 8 data type that we'll discuss today. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one. So let me create one more class here. You all have installed that Eclipse IDE, right? This one, or still you are using that normal notepad? Hello.
Sir, I have installed this.
Okay. Total 16 member is there. So I'm asking to all of you. You all have installed that Eclipse IDE? Just raise your hand. Eclipse or IntelliJ, or if you are using any other uh, IDE for that, it is fine. Okay. Let me change the layout. Okay, great. Okay, now we'll move to the, let me create one class. So in Eclipse, if you're using Eclipse, it is very easy to create any class. Just right click to that, this one. Like when you are creating any project in Eclipse, right? This one is default. Like we are using Java 8 version. So we have different Java version, right? So right now I'm using Java 1.8. Okay, so it will so like I have installed Java 1.8 in my system. So they will and we I have set up their class path variable in my environment variable, right? So the same way you have also set up that environment. So you will get that Java 8 in your project, right? So inside SRC you will get this default package. In later class we'll discuss what is this package and everything. So just as of now, just click right click on this default package and go to new and just create one class here. Okay, so now I'm discussing what I'm discussing some variables and data types. So I'm creating that class with this name, variables. Okay, so they have created this class, this variable. Okay, so now inside this variable, now we'll create one main method. So when you are trying to execute any Java program, first you have to create main method. Inside main method, you have to write your logic. Like like right now, earlier we have discussed some hello world program, and we have declared some variable, and we have initialized this variable with some value, and we have printed that value, right? Like we have declared num with this 10. So when we have printed this num, it will give you that result, right? That 10. So if we'll run this program, we'll get the output here 10, 10.5, and in this system.out.println we have added these two numbers. So we'll get that sum of that 10 and 10.5. So let me add someone. Okay, so today we'll discuss different data types. So public. So in later class we'll again discuss what is this public, what is this static. So as of now I'm just giving you some explanation about that variables and data types. So later we'll discuss what is this static and what is this public and everything. Okay, so don't worry about that. And what is this void, what is this main, we'll discuss everything. So we have created this main method. So we have different data types in Java, right? So yesterday we have discussed about integer, boolean, string. Now we'll see one by one again. So let me Boolean. So Boolean is data type in Java that holds only two type of values, either true or false. Okay, so Boolean, let's say Boolean val1. I'm giving that variable name as a val1. Okay, I'm initializing it with true. Okay, so this val contain value, true value. So in this boolean variable you can store only true or false, nothing else. Okay, you cannot store any these type of value like any string value a b c d like that, right? So you can store only true and false inside this boolean data type. Okay, now we'll go to the next one. So we have this byte in Java. Let me give that variable name as val2. I'm adding some value here. For example, I'm adding here 1. So in byte, I have initialized it with 1. So the byte data type can has values from like in for boolean, for byte, and for integer, and we have different data types, right? So for each variable we have their range. You can store that value up to that range. Okay, so for this byte the range is minus 128 to minus 127, right? So you can store like in byte data type you can store value up to minus 128 to 127. Got it? So like we have this int data type, right? Val3 equal to 10. Okay, so the range of byte is minus 128 to 127. Okay, and if we'll go to int, what is the range of int? The range of int is minus 2 to the power minus 2 to the power 31 to 2 to the power 2 to the power 31. So this one is nothing, this one is power. So just for your understanding purpose, I've just written here. So just assume this one is 2 to the power 31 and this one also is 2 to the power 31. Okay, 2 to the power 31 minus 1. So integer range is this one, 2 to the power minus 2 to the power 31 to 2 to the power 31. So you can store value up to that, but in byte you have range up to minus 1 to 128 to 127, right? So why when we'll use this byte and when we'll use this int, right? So let me give one example here. So if you want to store 10, right, only 10. So if we'll go for this byte, right? So I have initialized like byte val equal to 10. So it will take less memory, right? I'm giving one example in paint also. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I've chosen wrong. Yeah, this one. Let me add someone. Okay. So now, okay, now we have to create, okay, for memory. Yeah. So just assume this is your house, right? And there is one more house. So this one is house one, sorry, house one, and this one is house two. Okay. So in house one, we have total 2 member. Okay. And in this house one, we have 2 rooms. Okay. So let me divide it also, divide that room as well. So room one and room two. So total we have 2 member. One member will live in this first one and second one is in second one. Okay. And in house two, we have total 4 room. not 4. We have total 8 room. Okay, and still we have 2 members. Okay, so for house 1 I am paying, for example, 25,000 rupees. Okay, and for house 2 I am paying 1 lakh rupees, 100,000, 10,000 and 1 lakh rupees. But still we have 2 member. So you will prefer which house 1 or house 2?
House one, sir.
Correct. Because house, why house 1? Because for house 1 we are paying only 25,000 rupees, and for house 2 we are paying 1 lakh rupees. But still we have 2 members, right? So why will pay extra money for that same, like we have 2 members, 2 room is enough for that, right? So why will pay this extra money? So in same way, when we'll come to this topic, like when we have to use integer data type, or when we have to use that byte, right? So if let me select again. So int num equal to, I have initialized it with 10. Okay, and int, sorry, not int. Hello, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
let me share my screen again. There is power cut in my area, so that's why I got disconnected. So yeah, so here we are discussing like when we'll use this int and when we'll use this byte. So for example, I have initialized this num with. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir, we
Hello.
are.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. So in integer, in this num variable, I have initialized it with 10, right? And in byte, I have created one more variable num1. I have also initialized it with 10. So now, I have just few minutes back I showed you what is the range of integer and what is the range of byte. So when we are using than that capacity, then that time we'll prefer this int one. Okay, so for int we have their range, what we have 2 to the power 31, sorry, minus 2 to the power 31 up to where? Up to 2 to the power 31. 31 minus 1, I think, yeah. So range of integer is this one. Range of byte is this one. So if we are trying to store this 10 into any variable, which variable we have to use?
So byte.
Yes. Why will use byte? Because this 10, this we want to store this 10 value onto that variable, right? So we have it came under this range, right? Minus 128 to 127. So if we'll declare, like, if let's say I have removed this byte here, right? And we have stored 10 into that. So it will take more memory, right? And if we'll store this value this 10 value into byte data type, so it will take less memory, less memory, right? If you are comparing this byte storage with this integer storage, so this integer, just assume this integer is nothing, this integer is this house 2, and this num1 is nothing, this byte is nothing, this one is house 1. So this int for two members, if we have only two members, we have to take that much of place, right? So room, this total we have 8 room, right? We have two members, so total 6 place is empty here, right? So it is the waste of memory, right? That 6 place is empty in this house too. So why will go to this int variable? So that's why we'll always prefer this byte instead of this int. Okay, got it? So when we'll use int and we'll use byte, you have anyone have any doubt? Please ask. Feel free to ask if you have any simple doubt or anything. Don't hesitate. So okay, so now I'm moving to the next topic. So now again we'll come to the Eclipse side. So here we have initialized this boolean. So in boolean we can store only true and false type of value. In byte we can store any integer value, but there is some range. You can store value up to this one, minus 128 to 127, and integer you can store up to this one. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now we'll move to the next data type. So we have one sort data type also. Sort. Okay. So what is the sort? So there is like for same as byte and int, sort also have some limit. Like you can store a value up to that. Okay. So sort. Let's say sort variable name is val4 equal to 100. Let's say for example you want to store 100 into this sort variable. So what is the range of this sort variable? The range of this sort variable is 3 to, I think, yeah, 32768. So minus 32762 plus 32767. So this is the range of this sort variable. So in same way, when we have to store value up to this one, we'll prefer byte data type. When we'll have to store value up to this range, minus 32768 to 32767, we'll prefer sort data type. And when we have more than that, like more than 32767, then we'll go for this integer data type. So any doubt in these four? Hello, hello, check, hello.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so now we'll go to next. So next we have long. Let me write this variable in a order. So byte is less, then sort is greater, then int is greater, then same way long is greater than int. Okay, so same in long you can store these type of value that you are storing in byte, that you are storing in sort, that you are storing in integer, right? So val 4 equal to 255 or anything. So it is okay. Val4 we have already created it. So val2, val3, val4, val5. Okay. So val5 we have stored this one. All right. So the same like in integer we have this range, right? So in long data type we have some range as well, like int. Okay. So what is that range? The range is minus 2 to the power 63. Okay. 2 to the power 63. 63 minus 1. So the range of long data type is this one. So it depends on you. You have when you have to use which data type. If you have less like if your value range up to this one, you have to use byte. If your value range up to this one, you have to use sort. If your value range is within this integer data type, then you have to use in integer. And if your value range up within this one, you have to use this long data type. Okay. Now we'll move to the next data type. So we have double or not. Yeah, we'll go double. Okay. So val 6. So this val 1, val 2, val 3, val 4, val 5, val 6. What is this? These things? Val 1, val 2, val 3.
Integers, numbers.
No, no. Val
No,
1,
sir, these are
val
variables.
2, val 3. Yeah, correct. These are variables. We are giving that like for Boolean, we are giving variables name val1. For byte, we are giving variables name as a val2, and same val3 for short, val4 for int, val5 for long, and val6 for double. Okay. So these are the variable names. So we are declaring sort as a val3. So val3 contain which value? This 100. So in somewhere they have created this val3 and they have initialized it with 100 like this, like like this. So they have created this one and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in this 8. So we have created different variable, right? So in Java memory they have created one val1. Inside val1 they have initialized it with 10. Then val2, val2 equal to whatever, like let's say 20 or something like that. Then val3 same way, val4, val5, val6, val7, and val8. Like if we'll create val8, then val8 come here and they will store that value inside that. So they will take separate memory for that one. So if you have val1, they will declare it with 10. If you have initialized it with 10, val2 it will if you have initialized it with 29, they will store 29 to that, and same way in val3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, got it?
Okay, sir.
So okay, so let me, yeah. So in double will store which type of value? In double will store uh, like if we have any decimal places in any number. For example, let's say we have 10.50. So we have some decimal places into this, right? So, we cannot store this 10.50 into this byte, in this sort, into this integer, and into this long, because they have some decimal precision. So that's why for storing these for storing these value with decimal places, we have this double data type. Okay, and we have one more data type, that is float. So by name it is clear, right? Double, it means in any value, if you have double precision, that in that case you'll store that value into double data type. right? So val 7 equal to, let's say, 10.5. Wait. Oh, let me show you that double range and everything also. Then we go for float. Okay. So double data type, like that double data type is 64-bit floating point, right? So for example, let me. Okay, so we'll create one. Okay, it has some space here. Okay, plus we'll go down. Here we'll create one more. Why it's not working? Okay, wait. Yeah, no, it's working. Sorry, yeah. So we have this double, okay, and we have this float. So what is the difference between these double and these float? Both are storing that same value, that decimal places value. Let's say we have this 10.50 or we have this 10.5, right? So both can store these type of value. So where we'll use double and where we'll use float. So before, earlier we have discussed that part already. So like in Windows we have 32-bit or 64-bit, right? So if we are using 32-bit and if we are using 64-bit, in that case we'll use this different data type. So if we are using 64-bit, so it will point to which one? So if we are using the 64-bit, okay, so we'll use this double one. And if we have 32-bit floating point, like 32-bit floating point, in that case we will use this float one. So that is the difference between this double and float. Float will use in 32-bit floating point, and that double will use in 64-bit floating point. That is the difference. Okay, got it? Hello. For storing decimal value up to decimal places, we have two data type. One is double and one is float. So when you have to use double and when you have to use float, for 64-bit precision, you will use double, and for 32-bit precision, you will use this float one. Okay. So double val 6 equal to this one, and float val 7 equal to 7.55 or something else.
But sir,
Now if
yesterday you said
like
that.
we have initialized,
Sir,
yeah,
yesterday you said that when Java is independent of architecture, it occupies the same space. Doesn't matter what type of operating system it is.
correct. But so I have given that example. Let's say in C you have integer data type, right? Right? If it is in 32-bit or 64-bit, in both they have different their memory space, right? But you'll use this double in 64-bit or 32-bit, their memory space will same. Either you are using 64 or 32.
Okay, sir.
That double memory space is same in both 64 and 32-bit. I'm talking about for the I've described to like what is the difference between double and float. If we have 32-bit floating point, then we'll go for this float one, and if we have 64-bit floating point, then we'll go for this double one. That topic is different. That double and float always contain same memory space that we are using in 64-bit or we are using in 32-bit. It is same. in both 32-bit or 32-bit and 64-bit operating system. There is no difference in that point, but I'm talking about that precision. Okay,
Length after the decimal point. Number length of the decimal point.
correct.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So that is the difference. Now we'll see here. We have initialized this double with 10.50, and in val 7 I have initialized it with 7.55. But there is one red mark in this 7.55. Why that red mark is coming in this 7.55? Can anyone explain?
So by default, Java sends the value into the double. So we are declaring a float type variable which is not valid. We have to typecast it.
Okay, and okay. So how? Okay. So any other? Can anyone like not you? Can any other person can explain this one? Divya, hello. Hello. No one is there. So we have declared this float with this 7.55. If you'll hover to this one, let me increase the size of this. Yeah, text. Yeah, it is fine now. So if you'll hover to this one, it is saying type mismatch cannot from double to float. So we have two fixes for that one. Either we have to change that data type with double, or second one is we have to cast this value with float. So just after this, like once we'll complete this total 8 data type, right, that we have discussed here. So after that we'll see like how we'll use typecasting. Okay, so just as of now, uh, and let me control it. So for typecasting we have to do what? Just we have to add this float before that value. If we have initialized any value, just before that add this float. So this is typecasting. So just after this we'll see like what is this typecasting, why this float is saying to typecast to double and everything, right? So we'll just after that we'll discuss. So we have one more variable, that is char. Char will store which type of value? Char will store any character. For example, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, right? These are the characters. So in this character data type, will store only character type of value. Okay. So let's say in valid, I have in a slide it with A. Okay. So in character data type, we can store one character. If I have added one more character here, so it is giving error, right? So in character data char data type, you can store only one character, not more than that. If you want to store more than one character, so we have string. So inside, let's say val 9 equal to Amis. So you can store more than one character in single variable. So for that we have this string data type. So like as of now we'll see only these 8 variables, because we are talking about which one? Primitive data types. So once we'll finish this primitive data type, then we'll go for this string one. Okay. So we have these primitive data type that we are using in Java. Okay. Now let me print this all. So in Eclipse, you have one shortcut. If you want to add this system.out.println statement, na, just write syso and just click Control and spacebar. It will add those system.out.println in one click. Okay. So let me add here some first one is val1. Let me copy this one and paste 7 8. Delete this one. So this is val2, val3, val4, val5, val6. val7 and val8. Okay, let me run this program. You'll see whatever value we have initialized to that variable, they have printed their value. So val1 we have initialized it with true, val2 we have initialized it with 1, then 100, then 10, 255, 10.5, 7.55a, right? So we now we'll see yeah, next topic is where is that notepad? Yeah, we have to see this typecasting. So just after once we'll finish this all primitive data type, now we'll see like what is this typecasting. Okay, so let me go to that paint. Okay, let me save this one. This one is sixth one. Who's this one? I will create one more. Okay, so we have seen in Java variable we have two types of data type. One is primitive data type, another one is non-primitive data type, right? So now let me add again. Okay, so we have, sorry, data types. Okay, so one is primitive data type, other one is non-primitive. Okay, so in primitive data type we have there is some category inside that, right? So inside this primitive data type we have local variable, we have static data type, we have non-static data type. So we have categorized into different section. Okay, now one by one we'll see what is static, what is non-static, and like that, right? So let me create some box here. So this one is data type red, this one is primitive data type, this one is non-primitive data type. So you now this is first one. Oh no, first we'll type and then we'll mark. So in primitive data type we have class level variable. Okay, black here. So in primitive data type, we have two types of variable. One is class level variable and other one is local variable. Okay. So what is this class level variable? What is this local level variable? Now we'll see this one, local level variable, right? And after that, in class level, we have two type. One is static, other one is non-static. I will see what is the static or static. So in both class level variable and in local level variable, we have two type, static or non-static. So let me create their separate box for that for your clarity. Red one and red one. Okay. Let me copy. So for local label, we have that same static and non-static. Okay. So let me, so primitive data type. This is primitive data type. Okay, it contain two type: local level variable, class level variable. This class level variable contain static and non-static both. And in same way, in local variable we have two type of data. One is static, another one is non-static. Okay, so first we'll complete this primitive one, then we'll go for this non-primitive one. Okay, so now we have covered this primitive data type. Now we'll see what is this class level variable and what is this local level variable. Okay, so now this class is for variable. Now we'll create one more class here. So just right click to this one, Java class. So this is data types. Okay, so here you will see we have, like, we are using this Eclipse ID, right? So we have some options, like there is one checkbox here: public static void main string args. If we'll check this checkbox now, and when we'll click to finish, they will automatically add this main method inside your class. Okay, so it is saying here auto generated method. So because we have selected that checkbox here, so that's why it is showing here auto generated method. So just remove this line. This is nothing, this is just comment. So now what we have to do, we have to discuss here two topic. One is static data, other one is, oh sorry, not static, class level variable, class level variable, and local variable, variable. Now what is this class level variable, what is this local level variable? Okay, now we'll see one by one, like how we'll declare this class level, how we'll declare this local level. Okay, so let me create one more, or in same page I can add also. So this one is the box, and inside that box we'll create one boundary. Okay, now this one is our house. Okay, mark it with black. So this red one is nothing. This red one is what? This red one is, let's say this is your house, and there is one boundary wall, right? So this red one is nothing, this red one is boundary wall, and this one is your house, like room, kitchen, and everything. Okay, so what is class level and what is local level variable? So this boundary wall is nothing, this boundary wall is class level variable. Why this boundary wall is class level variable? Because just assume this red one is nothing, this red one is your class that you have created. Okay, so this red one is your class. So when you have declared any variable within class level, it means within this boundary, within this red boundary, that is nothing, that is your class level variable. For example, I have declared one int num equal to 10. Okay, if we have declared this num equal to 10 in this red boundary, this is what, this is your class level. It came under your class, right? So that red mark that I have added here, it is nothing, it is one boundary wall. So if you have declared any variable inside that boundary wall, that variable is nothing, that is class level variable. Okay, in same way, if you have declared any other variable int, let's say num2 equal to 100. Okay, but you have declared this variable inside your house. It means what? It means this num2 is not under this class level variable. This one is now local variable. What is the scope of this num2? You can use this num2 only inside this house, not outside of this house. Correct? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I'm explaining again what is this class level on local level. So just assume you have this house, right? Inside that house you have created this variable. So you can use this variable only inside this house, not outside of this house. Let me give you one more simple example, then you will get more clarity. So again, so this is your house. Inside that house there is one dog, dog 1. Okay, and outside of this house there is dog 2, and uh, this one is your house door. Okay, and that door is already closed. That door is closed. Okay, so uh, that dog 1, you have closed that door, so that dog walk only inside that house, right? Not outside of that house. Correct? So that dog 1 is nothing. That dog 1 is local level variable. Okay? So that dog 1 is nothing. That dog 1 is local level variable, and that dog 2. That dog 2 is what? That dog 2 is your class level variable. Because that dog 2 can, like, we have declared this dog 2 inside this class. That boundary is what? That boundary is your class. Inside that class you have declared this dog 2, and we have created one more house inside that boundary, and where you have put this dog 1. So that one is your local level variable. Now in program, like, now by programming we'll see what is this one. Okay, now we'll get more clarity. So just see here. So this one is our class, public class data types. I have created this data types class. So any doubt in this one? So what is the scope of this data type? I mean, I have declared one variable here, int num equal to 10. Is correct?
Yes, sir.
Is correct, or it is wrong? Sorry, it is like, what is it?
Yeah. So you have to declare, you have to assign the value, sir.
I
You
have
have to
yeah,
declare a
sorry.
variable name.
Yeah, I have given int num equal to 10.
Yeah,
Now it is
sir.
fine. Now why it is giving error?
No,
So because
it's
it's
not
outside the.
kind.
Because what?
No, it's not kind. We
Can you
have to
repeat?
declare inside the class.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So we have created this class, and that curly braces you are seeing here, right? So what is the scope of this data type class? That line number 2 to line number 10. So you can declare that variable within this class, not outside of this class. So I have declared, I have created this num variable. I have initialized it with 10 outside of this class, right? Scope of this data types class that we have created only within this 10 line, 2 to 10. So you can add your code, or you can create that variable only within these line number 2 to line number 10, not outside of that. Okay, so if we'll remove this one, if I will add that line here, so this is what? This is class level variable, because just after that class we have created this class. Just after that class I have declared this variable. I have created this variable num. I have initialized it with 10. Okay, so this one is nothing. This one is class level variable. So you can access this num variable in this whole class. Okay, but when we'll use that local level variable. If you have any local level variable, you cannot access that variable in that whole class. Okay, so now we'll see what is this local level variable. So this one is our main method, right? This one is our main method. So if we have declared any variable inside this main method, okay, I have declared one variable int val equal to 100. So what is the difference between this num and this val? This num is nothing, this num is class level variable, and this val is nothing, this val is local level variable. Now why this one is local level variable? Because we have created this val variable inside this main method. You cannot access this val variable outside of this method. The same way you cannot access this num variable here, right? Let's say I have just initialized this that num outside of this class. You cannot access this one, right? The same way, if you have declared any variable inside any method, so this one is main method, right? What is the scope of this main method? Line number 6 to line number 9. So you can access this val within these 6 to 9 line, right? Not outside of this line. But you have declared this num variable in class level, so you can access this num anywhere in this class. Any doubt? If you have any doubt, I will repeat again.
No, sir.
Now, just tell me, you like now you have any idea like what is this class level, what is this local level? If you have any doubt, I will explain again. Yes. Just after that, I will go to that part. So we have declared this num, we have declared this val. Okay. So in Java, we have I have just mentioned here in Java, in class level variable or local variable, we have two types of data. One is static, another one is non-static. Now we'll see this one. Then after that, we'll print those variable. Okay. So what is static and what is this non-static? Someone pinging something. Okay.
Can we declare a static variable inside the method?
No, static data, it means what? Static data means that is common for all. So inside this main method, let's say if we have like we'll cover that part also. Like once we'll cover that method part, na. So once we'll discuss static and non-static method, we'll show you that example also. Okay.
No, I am
So
asking. No, I am asking. Can we declare variable inside the method? It will be static.
if your method is static, you cannot declare any variable in like any non-static variable inside that. Like if your method, let's say I'm creating one method here for like for example void sorry static void why am miss yeah static void, let's say m1. This one is our method, and inside this method, let's say I have added one sysout statement, and just before that I have added one num variable, num equal to 10, and I have added this num here. So you can use that local, like locally you can oh okay, well, you are asking about this one, right? This is static.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes.
static means nothing. Static means what? It means common for all. If you are creating any variable as a static, it means common for all. But you are creating this local variable, right? So inside this method, you cannot create this num variable because this one is what? This one is your local variable. This num, sorry, this num is what? Local variable.
Okay.
So static means common for all. So we'll discuss this topic because just I moved to this one, right? Static and non-static. So one by one we'll discuss both. So let me remove this one. So now how will let's for example if you want to print this num and this val here, how will do that? So we'll add this sysout statement, we'll add this num here, and we'll add one more sysout statement, we'll add val here. Now if you'll see here, yeah, in val there is no error, but in num there is one red mark. Why that red mark is coming here? Because this one is class level variable, it is fine, but it is which type of data? It is non-static data, right? So you cannot access any non-static data directly in Java if you have any non-static data. It means there is no static keyword before this, right? If you add this static keyword, it means the data type is static. That num variable data type is static, okay? And if there is no static keyword, it means it is non-static. Okay, so in Java we cannot access any non-static data directly. Like I have just declared this num here and directly I am printing that variable here, right? So it will give error. But if you'll see in local variable, I have initialized this val with 100. It is not giving any error. Why? In local variable, in local level we can access that data directly, but when that variable is on class level we cannot access that data directly. So to access this data, what we'll have to do, we have to make that integer as a static. So now you can access these num also inside this main method. Okay, if we'll run this program, you will get that output. So they have printed 10 and 100 here, right? So there is one more way that you can access this non-static data. Like this one is for what? This one is for static, because you have added this static keyword here. Okay. If you want to access this num variable in non-static way, what we'll have to do? Now we'll see this one. Now it is giving error. So let me add one comment here to access, sorry, access any non-static data, we have to create object of this class. What is this? So if you want to access this num directly, what you have to do, you have to create object of this class. For this, which class? For this class, that class you have created, where you have declared your num variable. So you have where you have declared your num variable? Inside this data types class. So how will create object? Right here I mentioned na, we have to create object of this class to access this num. So how can we create object of this class? So we have to write our class name and then class and then class name. Like you are creating any data type, right? Integer num equal to some value. So integer is what? Data type. So this data types is same. So now we have to give some name. Like for variable you are giving this num, right? This num is what? This num is your variable name of this integer data type. Same way, when you are trying to create any object of this class, what you have to do, you have to write the class name and then object name. You can write any name. So I have just given here object obj equal to new, and again class name parenthesis this one. So this one is what? This one is object creation of data type class. Okay, so in this way you can create object of any class. Why we'll create object of this class? Because we want to access this integer num value. Why? Because it is non-static data. To access non-static data, we have to create object of this class. So I'm writing one note here. To access any non-static data, we have to create object of that class. If you want to access that data directly, you can make that variable as a static. Okay, any doubt in these two lines? I will repeat again if you have any doubt. To access any non-static data, it means this one, int num equal to 10. This one is non-static. Why? Because there is no static keyword inside that. Okay, and for this one, if we have any static keyword for that data type, if you have any static keyword, it means this one is static data. You can access that data directly in your class. But if you have this type of variable int num equal to 10, it means it is non-static and it is static data. So any doubt in these line? To stat what, like which data is static data and which data is non-static data?
No, sir.
No,
Hello.
no,
Okay. So now we have like I shown you how can we access this non-static data. So first, what is the first process? We have to create object of this class. So we have created object of this data type. Okay, so how will create object? So we have to provide class name here, whatever class you have mentioned here. So same class name you have to write here, then you have to provide one name of that class equal to new. So in Java for object creation, always you have to use with always in Java for object creation, there is one keyword, this new one. So always you have to use this new keyword. For object creation, you will use this new keyword. So we have to create object of which class? This data types class, right? So I have used this new keyword here. So if you want to create any for not for only for this class, if you want to create any object for different predefined class as well, like we have array list, we have linked list, we have string. If you want to create any object, you have to use this new keyword everywhere in Java if we want to create any object of that class or anything. Got it? So for creating any object, we'll always use this new keyword. Okay, so we have created object of this data type. Now how can we access this num? Simply we'll write here obj.num. Okay, now if I'll run this program, we will get the output 10 and 100. So how can we access this non-static data? First we have to create object of that class, and then by that object dot num. So this object, see here, this object contain what? Object dot, see I have typed here num. So they are giving hint here obj dot num. Okay, num is declared here. Okay, if I'll run this program, we'll get the output here. So to accessing non-static data, any doubt? How can we access non-static data? How can we access non-static data? Any doubt on this one?
No, sir.
no.
Okay. So for today, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll discuss again static, non-static in depth with multiple example. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So tomorrow we'll meet again in same 8:30 p.m. So thank you for joining. We'll meet again. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And if you have any doubt, just make a note for that doubt. Take a list of that one. And when I joined, around 8:30, so just ask that time that question. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for joining. Yeah. Bye.